boys and girls, we got a little bit of bad news with Project 500, and it doesn't happen to be all these glass lids that are opened up right now. It's actually the good news, which we get to talk about first, but the bad news, well, the bad news might screw up this whole breeding season this year. Let's get a little into it right now. Before we talk about the crested geckos, I do want to give some updates with the other projects. You know, Project 500 isn't just a new Cal game, it's all of my geckos combined. Starting out, everyone's been begging me for some updates with the OK Geckos. If you guys aren't on the Patreon, which obviously patreon.com, it's right down there in the description, check it out. You guys probably don't know updates that's going on with the Tokays. We're doing pretty good. I have added some stuff. Number one is a substrate. It was a much needed thing. I no longer have to clean these cages 2 to 3 times a week. It's no longer smells because the soil helps absorb that odor, and then once a month, until I do this bioactive, about once a month the substrate needs to be changed, and then we just do some spot cleaning. Okays have been doing great. I believe right now we are up to 2 clutches for the Green Galaxy pairing, and then 1 clutch for Reduced, and 1 clutch for the Granite to Het Granite pairing. Nothing with the Platinum to Platinum, or Platinum to Het Platinum, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case. We've paired these guys now going on, I believe this is month 4 or 5. It does seem like the curse of this male has continued on with me, and we just might not getting eggs. I believe the fall is my deadline. Obviously this male is on loan. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll put it right here. This male is on loan for me, and I have until about fall. If nothing's been produced so far, then he'll have to be moved on to the next person or just go back to the original owner. Moving on a little bit forward over here, we have, of course, the Leachianis. Some absolutely awesome dudes. Come here, little bro. It's okay. I disturbed him from basking in the UVB. We have some absolutely amazing Leachianis. So far, so good. This pair has been doing great. We're about a week or 2, I believe. I'll have to check back on my notes on when they were first paired, but no aggression's been shown. I have seen a breeding attempt. Again, that's on Patreon. I do a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm sorry, I'm shouting that out too much. But awesome little dudes. Hopefully this pair looks good. Now, we found the courting, the copulation. But next up, we do need to get some eggs. So hopefully with this nice bioactive substrate, the female will find that it's a good place to lay her eggs, and then we'll just have to do a little bit of scavenger hunt in the next 4 to 6 weeks when we think that she's going to be laying. Into the tube, sir. Go on. There you go. That's a good boy. As you guys can see over here, there has been an expansion for the new cow. What once was 1 rack system has now been combined to 2 rack systems. Fantastic. We have now paired all of our crested geckos, and be showing you guys a little update on the pairing and then what these new pairings are, which is best of the best projects in my opinion are these pairings. These guys are going to be just absolutely fantastic. There was the cat project that we'll talk about, or the frat project, I guess, but oh man, this one right here. A+. Absolutely awesome. I decided not to go for the full one like I did with this design because this is going to be our little temporary baby rack. So babies from like until they're about 4 grams, I would say, they'll be moved from here to the shoebox bins, but this will just help us make sure we have enough inventory to, or enough slots, or cages, I guess is the word I'm trying to say, for all the babies we're about to have. Remember, we're shooting for about 500 babies. We need to make sure we have this. So I'm going to probably end up doubling this. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and then these guys will be moved into that shelf that you see right behind me. Coming on down here, you guys can see that we did do a little bit of a different method. Instead of going for the sterile ones that we do have in some of these, we decided to do full bioactive. So we have a full bioactive substrate, leaf litter, a little bit of a pothos. I just needed some sort of low light plant that will thrive in low lighting settings instead of one that needs a plant light. And then the usual stuff. We do the pool noodles, we got the gecko hide, the gecko dish, a water bowl. I love adding water bowls, by the way, guys. Immediately I see geckos drinking from it. It is a great thing to do. The Dollar Tree has little water bowls for like small dogs and cats for like, well, a Dollar Tree $1, and they work really well. These aren't that, but all the other ones are over here. I have to go get some more. That being said, dude, let's check these guys out. So this, of course, is going to be my well, we'll pull you out because you're right here. One of my awesome females. This is going to be a super confetti of the yellow base girl. We've got a couple of different coloration of the red base that are also super confetti. This girl is my second favorite just because I really do like the yellow, how the red in contrast to that with the red and black and the yellow base. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Awesome little girl. Finally big enough now. We just got her a weight before we paired her. She is at 39.7 grams. So 0.3 grams off of that 40 I like to give. Usually I aim for the high 30s to 40s for first year breeding animals, but absolutely awesome. This is a beautiful girl. The male I've chosen for this girl is going to be, of course, the All-Star. I haven't named this guy yet. I'm thinking of naming him Flaming Hot Cheeto. I don't know why. Really nice red bicolor, so we've got the beige little dorsal stripe that goes down, and then the lateral coloration is going to be, of course, the red base, but absolutely fantastic male. I'm so happy that this thing turned out male instead of female, so I can put this guy into multiple projects. Super confetti, ink blot, portholing. We got the hind fringe legs. I'm not sure what that's called. I don't remember. But all in all, an absolutely incredible male. Just take a look at this pairing, guys. Look at that. The coloration, the spots, the babies that are going to come out of this are going to be absolutely fantastic. Ooh. Really great pair. We do have one more. She's hiding right now. Let me see if I can find her. Here she is. She's hiding out on the leaf litter. This is, of course, is going to be Bullseye. My Bullseye, as you can see right there. I mean, even with a wide camera lens, there's no mistaking that Bullseye dot. Absolutely amazing girl. Originally named Mickey Mouse. I guess I'll call her Minnie Mouse because these spots right here, as you can clearly see even from this far away, they used to be like, it looked like a Mickey Mouse spot. And as she grew older, those black spots started turning red with a black outline resembling what a bullseye would be. Just a couple right here down our dorsal stripe. We got a bullseye there, a bullseye there, but this is the biggest one that you guys can see. The reason why I chose this girl for that male is just because she's also a confetti. Granted, I would kind of classify this more as a Dalmatian than a super Dalmatian just because of the amount of spots, but some great ink blotting as well. I think with that male, we can really push some more red and black spots out here, and then hopefully this bullseye will be compatible with the babies and we can get some more bullseye animals that still have a lot of spots instead of just a bullseye with a little bit of Dalmatian spots. Real quick before we get on with this video, I just want to take a few seconds to talk about the Patreon page. Now, over on the Dakota Blue Exotics Patreon page, we have some awesome behind-the-scenes bonus content that I don't show anywhere else, and some great perks as well. One of those perks I'm very excited to talk about. I actually took a lot of inspiration from Flawless Crested Geckos, and that membership is going to be the DBCB credit program. I absolutely love the credit program. I'll kind of explain how it works. Pretty much for each dollar that is pledged for that membership goes into a credit account that's personalized for you. For instance, let's say you've been with the credit program for 10 months, which means you have $400 in credit. So if there's an animal you want from me that is $400, you can actually use that credit instead of money, which means you basically get the animal for free at that point. I mean, I guess if we're like using girl math, right? Not to mention there are some fantastic perks on top of that credit program already. That's going to be some discounted percentages off the animals, flat rate shipping. We have some great educational chat boards where we discuss how to build your own gecko reptile room, how to build a gecko breeding business, and how to build a reptile social media. If you want to grow yours, how to start one out the right way, everything that goes into that. Whether you guys are looking to up your knowledge about geckos, get some awesome behind the scenes bonus content, be part of an awesome tight niche community, or maybe you guys just want to see the animals that I have for sale first before anyone else gets to see them, then Patreon's going to be the perfect place for you. That's something that might interest you guys. I have the link right down in the description. That'll take you right to our Patreon page where you can sign up. Thank you guys so much. Alright, let's get back into the video. People know me for my Super Dalmatian project. It's a project I've been doing for about 7 or 8 years, 5 to 6 as a business. Since then, we've actually been expanding into a couple different mutations. Obviously, we got the lily white that we've done. We got plenty of babies still available right now. Now we're getting to the caps and fraps, and then also soft scale and empty back, which is actually this pairing right here, what is in this enclosure. Well, I'll have to fix that. Gonna be some of my patterned animals. Both of these guys, well, this male right here is gonna be a super soft scale, full pinstripe, het empty back, and then we have this female here, which is gonna be a pinstripe, soft scale, het empty back. Unfortunately, something I didn't realize, I got these guys pretty young. They were about, I wanna say like 10, 11 grams, and she was fired up like this. However, what you can see on the top of the head, just a little bit of Dalmatian spots, and then as she grew and fired down, I noticed a lot of Dalmatian spots, which is a big bummer. It's something I do want to get to hopefully try to get that full empty back, and then full like a super soft scale empty back would be really awesome. However, I don't think this is a female I'm gonna be keeping very long simply because of the amount of spots. We'll see what the pairings do, how they work. I'm not completely like against spots like some of these other breeders that hate having even one spot in a pattern. However, she has a lot of spots, and that does seem to carry over. It's not something I'm super interested in pursuing long term. Then last for these guys, we have this absolutely gorgeous white wall pin that I believe is possible het for empty back. This will be a project that we prove it out. So far we've got these two girls for this male right here. Absolutely awesome. This is a girl I've had for a little bit. She's one of the lily white girls that we did last season. So now she's being paired to hopefully prove out this empty back. The stuff she's thrown at me, I'm like pretty positive this is empty back. However, Well, don't get feisty. However, we'll have to prove it out, right? Like, you can't just say something's het empty back. That's why you say your pot's het, and then you prove it out with another het empty back to hopefully get some visuals. Really awesome. This is a thing I'm really excited for. Not only do we have soft scale and super soft scale in here, but some het empty back stuff. I think these guys will make some absolutely fantastic patterned animals. The last project we'll be talking about right down here isn't something that's like completely amazing. It's no super confetti, I'll say that much. However, it is pretty cool. Which one are you? Are you Ziggy? Yeah, that one is Ziggy. I'm not gonna be taking out Ziggy. He's such a fucking spaz. He's a really nice, this is gonna be a tiger super Dell project. So he's really cool. Great tiger stripes. Dalmatian spots are okay. However, he's just super flighty, and it's just not something I want to deal with right now. Female that we have for him, this is going to be a tiger super Dalmatian. I'd probably say ink blot on this one. The spots are pretty big in some areas. Nothing out of the world. I really do like how deep her tiger stripes are, and that's why I decided to pair her to Ziggy. I'm trying to get some really bold tiger striping that also carries over the super Dalmatian. Tiger super Dals are what started it all. It's what started my passion for crested geckos, and it's something I really like working with and trying to see how many different angles I can throw at the super Dalmatian tiger. So we're going to have some that are going to be more spotty, which now has made some that's going to be confetti line, and we have some where I'm trying to get big spots, and then something like this I'm trying to create just a bigger expression of that tiger gene, not really looking as much as a super Del gene. Pairing, I think these guys will do great. The only issue we have right now for this pair is the fact that all of these are first year breeders, so every single one that you see here, this is the first year they'll be breeding. Obviously with the female part of that, you have geckos that are gonna kind of throw a lot of duds. They don't really know how to lay their eggs. The eggs are gonna be off and on, so pretty inconsistent year for these three guys. But overall, I think it'll be okay. We've got one veteran girl in here, which should do pretty well for that empty back project. Another thing we always have to look out for is for first time males. Prolapsing is a bit of a, I wouldn't say more of a common issue, but it is an issue that's going to happen a lot more for first-time breeders. So it's just something we have to be a little more cautious of, look for a little bit more, and make sure that trying to prevent if it does happen, if it does, make sure we treat it on time before it gets any worse or has some serious complications. And now, unfortunately, we get to go into the bad news, some of the bad stuff that's happening right now. There's an issue with this place, and obviously when it comes to new places, you're gonna have to learn what the advantages are for places like this, what the disadvantages are for new places, and I have found a very big disadvantage. As you guys can clearly see, and as you guys comment, this is an unfinished basement, so the insulation here isn't top tier quality. The problem was doing this and living in New England, our temperatures get very cold, and it is very difficult to keep temperatures steady with an uninsulated place, because any little air holes are gonna leak out, that's gonna cause temperature fluctuation, and so on. So no matter how hard we're trying to heat this place, I just can't get it warm enough. Right now, we stand pretty steady at around 69 to 72 degrees. More often than not, we're in the around 70 to 69 area, which really sucks. I do believe it's affecting my crested geckos or the new cow game and how they are breeding, because I've gotten 0 eggs so far, which is not necessarily, it's weird for the gargoyle geckos. The gargs have not given me any eggs, and they were paired around like December-ish, so it has been a couple of months from them. But with these crested geckos, we're only about 4 to 5 weeks, so it's not completely crazy. I would be expecting eggs around now, and I haven't seen them. And that's tripping me out a little bit. I have the caveat to this, the double-edged blade, if you will, is in my old building, I had about like, I don't know, 10,000 watts to play with. In this building, we're only working with about a 20 amp circuit, right? And when we're talking about using stuff like space heaters, like the one right before me, helping to heat this place up, well, we're already using 1,500 watts right there, not to mention all the CHEs, the UVB, so on and so forth, right? And that comes to the big issue. A couple of days ago, I actually tripped the breaker, which means we cannot add any more lights, any more heating elements. I actually had to downgrade some of the heating elements, kind of combine some stuff, do some workarounds. Mostly it's for the lighting for me, so I don't have really good lighting, just to make sure the animals are okay. But the fact of the matter is, we're at max wattage. We can't go any higher than this. My game plan, the easy fix for me, would just be use long heat tape, plug into a thermostat, and then just run 3 to 4 rows of this. And so, boom, you heat the bottom of the cage, there's that temperature. Words, am I right? Gradient in there, so they know the heat side's over there, the cool side will be over here, so on and so forth. Problem fixed, right? Well, no, because I am out of amps. I can't do any more of that, and the issue is I can't take off the space heater, because then I would have to heat every baby cage, all the subadult cages, so on and so forth. Even though this heater's not doing a great job because this place isn't insulated, Taking it off would just, we dip into like 63 degrees to 60 degrees, and that's just not manageable unless you're individually heating each one. Generally, it's nothing I can do this year. It might fuck things up. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I always do get this way. It's right before everyone starts laying when stuff is paired. No one's giving me eggs yet. I get a little antsy and paranoid that like I'm a failure and I chose a long line of work and I should just go back to the 9 to 5. Why did I disappoint my parents for this many years? Instead of doing this, I could have been a proud son for my father. I think it's just the nerves and the jitters are getting to me. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm just being paranoid and these guys will start laying me tomorrow and we'll start getting eggs going. However, I won't put it out of the back of my mind that this might ruin Project 500. We'll still get eggs, but if my fears are true, we might not be seeing eggs until April, right? When temperatures just naturally start rising, getting a little bit warmer. Only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Obviously in the next year, even though this is a temporary place, we'll have to insulate before the next winter because we can't have another problem like this. This will also save me on my money with stuff like using space heaters. If the place is insulated well enough, we shouldn't need to use space heaters, and then my bill won't be $400 a month in the winter. Apologies real quick, guys. I just gotta shout out the merch. Check it out. You know, Crested Gecko video, we gotta be wearing the Cresty Cult merch. If you guys want to check that out, I got a little banner right down there below, and then there's the Teespring, all that good stuff. Check it out. Really cool stuff. I have a couple different designs for geckos. If that's something you're interested in, check it out. I'm so sorry. Let's get back to the video. Hey, alright, we do have one more pair. Before we end the video, we do have one more. It's actually over here. I decided to do it with Cookie. Oh, your dick's out. I won't be getting the male because his dick's out right now, but this is the female right here. I call her Strawberry Cheesecake because she's pretty much like the majority of red spotted girl with just a little bit of black spots going on. Awesome little girl. Right now currently at 38 point something grams, so it is just at that range where I do feel comfortable breeding her. Really awesome. I decided to do the Super Dal Jr. No red spots. I think he has just like a couple of red spots, but he is a nice Super Dalmatian. I would pair to my All-Star, however, since it is his first year, I didn't want to do, I like 2 females max for first year males. It loosens the chances of prolapsing and anything like that. We want to make sure these guys are good and we don't risk anything that could end up making the male not breedable for the rest of his life. I'd rather just do 2 girls now, and then next year we can try 3 girls, and so on and so forth. Still be awesome. We'll get some nice confetti stuff out of this one. Really awesome girl. I do want to use her later on. I have a vision of her making only red spotted geckos. I think that would be really cool. It's a project I have in the back of my head, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming years for that. About is going to cover it for today, boys and girls. Let me know in the comment section, what was your favorite pairing? What do we got going on? Personally, it's super confetti for me. I'm a Dalmatian guy, and I love seeing those. Like, what babies are they gonna make? It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So if you guys have no idea what Project 500 is, here's a playlist right here. Maybe you want to check out the last installment we did before this video, which is right here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time of your day to following us over here at Dakota Blue Exotic. Huge shout out to the Patreon members. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.